What's up everyone, Andrew Baena here, and on today's video we are taking a look at the Harley Benton GuitarBass VS. If you're familiar with my channel, you will know that I am no stranger to weird baritone guitars, and this one fit that bill perfectly, so I thought it was finally time for me to check it out. Before we get on with the rest of this video, I do have to give a massive thank you to Harley Benton and Thomann for sponsoring this video. So after watching this video, if you decide you want to buy one of these guitars or anything else from Thomann, please go ahead and click that link in the description and the pinned comment below. It's an affiliate link, so anything you buy on Thomann directly helps support my channel. So again, a massive thank you to Harley Benton and Thomann for sponsoring this video. Let's talk about the guitar. So you already heard how it sounds in that full demo mix in the intro there. I actually have it tuned even lower than it comes standard. If you're not familiar with a 30-inch scale guitar bass, it's actually tuned an octave lower than a standard guitar, so it's basically tuned like a bass, but it feels more like a guitar. So yeah, all in all, a very weird instrument with some strange specs that we will talk about coming up right now. So the first and probably most important thing about this instrument is that it has a 30-inch scale length. Obviously, most standard 6-string guitars come in at 25.5-inch scale length, so this is almost 5 inches longer than a standard guitar, and due to that, you can tune it way lower. And speaking of tuning it lower, this guitar comes in E standard and octave down, like I already mentioned, but you can go even lower than that if you want to, which I did. Moving on with the rest of the specs and features, this guitar is made out of Nayato for the body. We have 3 single coil pickups, which are HBZ custom wound Alnico 5 vintage voice single coil pickups. We have a volume and a tone control down here, as well as a 5-way pickup selector up there, a 3-ply tortoise shell pickguard, a Tune-o-matic style bridge down here. This is actually a very big bonus feature in my opinion, and I'll talk about that more later. Moving on to the neck of the guitar, like I said, it is a 30-inch scale length. This one in particular has 21 frets, so a lot less frets than you might be used to. So these are jumbo frets, not stainless steel this time around, which makes sense because this guitar is only like 280 Canadian dollars at the time of filming this video. The fretboard is made out of amaranth, and it has perloid block inlays, which look really nice, as well as white binding all along the fretboard, as you can see there. The neck is made out of Canadian maple, which you can see there, as well as it being a bolt-on, of course. No locking tuners this time around, just more of the vintage style tuners that are based on like Klusons or something like that. So that pretty much does it for the specs and features of this instrument. Like I said, it's a lot of weird things in a guitar, and people who have never tried a baritone guitar before are probably going to have no idea what they're looking at, but if you're watching this channel, chances are you have at least somewhat of an idea of what's going on here. So obviously this guitar is meant in theory for more of like a vintage style sound, like even the product description is talking about bands like Cream and stuff like that. However, in my case, I very clearly did not use it that way. The way that I am using this is more of like in place of an 8-string guitar, for example, you would use this because I have it tuned as low as some of my 8-string guitars. And of course, I was using it for a heavy high gain rhythm tone to make some obnoxious djenty bullshit. So if you came to this video expecting more of those classic sounds, I am sorry to say you are going to be sorely disappointed. And with that being said, let's get on with some soloed tone clips. I'm going to show you how this sounds for a high gain rhythm tone and play around with some of the other features. Let's do it. Okay, last but not least is to tell you my thoughts and opinions on this guitar. Now, like I briefly mentioned earlier, there's definitely some pros and cons to this guitar versus other similar 30-inch scale baritones that are on the market right now, including one from Harley Benton themselves. And one of the things that I think I actually prefer a lot about this guitar in particular is the fact that it does have a tune-o-matic style bridge. I've had the Squier or Fender equivalent of a guitar bass in the past, and usually those come with a weird like pseudo floating bridge system thing, which I personally absolutely hated. I had the guitar for like a week before returning it to the store because I could not get along with the bridge, because all it did was just make tuning stability absolutely terrible. So I'm very happy that Harley Benton decided to stick with a hardtail tune-o-matic style bridge for this one. In my opinion, that is a massive plus. So yeah, you're going to be missing out on being able to do like very slight vibrato with a bar, but like, again, if you're watching this channel and you're using it for this purpose, you probably don't want that anyways. As with pretty much every Harley Benton I've had on this channel, as always, I'm very impressed with the construction quality and the feel of the guitar versus the price of the guitar. Like I said earlier, at the time of filming this video, this guitar is only 280 Canadian dollars, which is absurdly cheap. And yeah, Harley Benton definitely have a reputation of being able to produce very high quality instruments at a very low cost, and this one is no exception. Everything looked and felt very, very good on this one, and I think I actually preferred how this looks and feels over the JA Baritone, which is Harley Benton's other 30-inch scale offering, which is more like a black Jazzmaster looking thing. I actually think this one is a little bit better. The only thing I don't love about this guitar is the single coils. Now, some people are really going to like that sound. I personally don't hate it, but I just prefer the sound of a humbucker personally, or even like a P90 style pickup. But the single coils definitely do the job. I just find that they don't really sound good for palm muting. So for that reason, I prefer a humbucker. But for more of the single string riffage, like if you're not using chords or palm muting, I do think that these sound really good. But again, that's going to be subjective and up to you. And yeah, overall, I don't really have any complaints about this guitar. Everything feels really good on it. I've had this guitar sitting in my room for about 3 or 4 months now, and nothing has really moved on it. There's no like sharp fret ends or anything like that. So yeah, again, the construction quality on this is really, really good, especially given the price. Having 21 frets is a little bit weird because, you know, it feels strange not having like those extra 3 frets there. But again, if you're using it for the style of music that I play, you probably almost never need the 24th fret, or even the 22nd or 23rd apparently. But yeah, it's gonna feel a little bit weird at first because it is a much longer scale length, like 30 inches, but because it's missing those 3 frets, at least the neck of the guitar sits a little bit farther into the body, so it doesn't feel like as crazy of a reach like you're playing over here. Like, it at least somewhat feels like a normal guitar. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Once again, a massive thank you to Thomann and Harley Benton for sponsoring this video and sending this guitar over to me. Like I mentioned earlier, if you're interested in grabbing this guitar or anything else over at Thomann, please use the link in the description and the pinned comment below. It's an affiliate link, so anything you buy directly helps support my channel, and I'd appreciate it a lot. Last but not least, a massive thank you to all the Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. If you're interested in audio downloads, guitar tabs, stems, or a shout out on the screen, you can find all of that over on my Patreon page, which is also linked in the description below. That's all I have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.